Oh, it's you. Hi. Hi. Oh, I got two of you. Where? Oh, okay. Come on. Come on. Come on, mobile friend. Come on. Yes, it's that time. We're recording. Are you getting on this bus too? Huh? Well, hello there. How are you doing today? Do you feel like doing a little bit of DIYing with me? Well, come on in and let's get started. So what do I have going on for you for today? Well, this weekend was one of those weekends where I tackled a DIY home renovation that's just kind of been sitting there staring at me that I just didn't have inspiration for until Thursday. Thursday, I woke up, I had a dream, it came to me in my sleep, I knew what I wanted to do, and boy oh boy, was I ready to do it. Over this last year, I have been redecorating and renovating this house, taking it from what used to be our family home and turning it into the girls and I's forever home, turning it into our home, making it the home that defines us, that feels safe, warm, and cozy to us in the style that we like. And we've really enjoyed doing that. I just recently finished my kitchen, but there was still one area that just was off. And well, this weekend we're tackling it. So guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna quit my gabbing, let's jump into it, and let's do some DIYing. Because why not? Because we can, and that's what we do here. So let's get to it. So yes, this is the project, the issue at hand, and it really is about refining this. This is a catch-all, it is chaotic, it is cluttered, and it just needs to go. I had done the whole kitchen. I took it from looking like this here, where it once had stripes for 20 years, to repainting it. I took down the window covers, decided that I wanted burlap. This is what used to be there. Didn't want to get rid of it, so I covered it with a linen before I went in and covered it with some burlap. Love the look of that. I did the linen first underneath the burlap because you can see through burlap, and so I just wanted it to have a more finished look. Hi, Willow Blend! Because there were stripes here, I had to sand each of the lines going down the wall, so when I repainted this, there wouldn't be elevated lines that showed through the paint. Why I thought doing stripes was a good idea once upon a time, I don't know. Going back, won't ever do it again. It served its purpose. It was fun until it wasn't, I guess. And now I'm going in with this cafe latte color. This is by Valspar. It is a paint and primer in one. So now that you got to see the update of the kitchen there, quick flashback. I have emptied out this Nook, taken those plastic drawers out. Now I'm gonna head on over to Lowe's and let's pick up the lumber, the wood that is needed, because I am going to handcraft this because I love working with wood and I love all of the tools, power tools, saws that I have been accumulating on Christmas and Father's Day when they're on sale. So I can really make the things that I want to make. Here's the wood I need, and it's got to fit in my car here. Oh my word. Yeah, so good thing the seats go down, and I'm gonna be sticking this through the trunk, in through the seats that I've just laid down, and this is how you get it home when you don't have a truck. Okay, so let's talk about this real quick. This desk was built by the builder of the home, and it was placed in my kitchen, in the corner of my kitchen, in the dining room. And as I see where they were kind of going with it, and it was a good idea in theory, the placement of it is all wrong because it is in my dining room, and my dining room isn't huge. So when there's a table in there, it doesn't really leave a lot of room for a table or for this to be a useful space as a desk area, as you can see. So yeah, this kind of became the catch-all for snacks, and it's never been organized the way I wanted it to be or have been happy with. So we're gonna do that today. I'm gonna start off with the top part here above the desk, and that's what we're gonna work on, and then we'll work toward the useful space below it. But this is a lot of space here that can be useful, so we're gonna build something to make some use out of it. Now, I am adding to the existing desk and cabinet that are there. I want to add to those empty spaces, making it look like it is one unified unit, like it is a built-in. And that really is my goal. I had to buy shorter pieces of wood because of my car. It probably would have been a bit cheaper to buy longer, but I'm doing what I can do. I've got my table saw out. I've taken my measurements because we're working on the top half, and I am using my table saw to cut my wood. Now, this is not a how-to video, a how to use a table saw. This is how Kelly uses a table saw. I am not saying it's right or safe. There's probably a much better way to use this, but this is how I am confident using it, so this is how I use it. I use a lot of things the way they're not supposed to be used, and I do okay. If you're gonna use a table saw, do not go based off of what I'm doing here. So like I said, back to the video, yes, I am not going to overthink this. I am going to simplify this and keep it very simple. I want to just build a shelf, and I want it again to look like a built-in, so it's got to have two sides to the shelf that will just slide into that space and fit into it snugly. I also want it to be seamless. I don't want brackets. I don't want any hardware showing. So I am using what they call a pocket hole jig. This is going to make a pocket hole in the bottom of the wood shelf, which will then allow me to add this shelf or attach this shelf to the side pieces of wood without the hardware showing by drilling a pocket hole. It is very simple to do. This is a handy little $10 tool. They've got bigger, better, nicer ones, but I don't really know how many shelves I'm gonna be building after this. So I really didn't see a need to buy anything more than what I needed. At Lowe's, this was $9.98, and I figured it was gonna get the job done. Using it with some clamps to keep it in place. This is the underneath the bottom of my shelf, what will be my shelf. Placing this on each side, I'm gonna go ahead and take my drill into the pocket hole jig thingy, and it is then going to stop where I need it to stop, and it is going to make my pocket hole a hole to put my screw to attach it to the sides. It's great. You need a total of 4, 2 on each side, and so that's what I'm doing here. And this is what it looks like. Yeah, just a little kind of divot, kind of a pocket in there, pocket hole. And when you look down in it, you can see that it's got a space for you to put your screw to drill it into the sides, giving you that seamless look. So now that I've got these drilled, I'm gonna go ahead and attach the shelf to the sides. Now this wood is 12 inches wide that I've picked up from Lowe's. I went with a higher grade wood because I didn't want the splinters. I wanted a smoother wood, one that didn't have the awful knots in it that were gonna be super noticeable. Some knots are fine. I feel like it adds to the rustic feel, but I wanted a higher grade wood. So I spent $15 for a 12-inch wide by either 6 or 8 feet. I don't remember which one I got that fit in my car. And I picked up, I want to say 8 pieces of that wood. And that really is about the extent of the wood that I needed. I think I picked up a couple 1 by 6 by 6s to add to the width for the bottom, but we'll get into that later. All in all, the wood cost me a total of $140. Well, wood and screws and the pocket hole jig thingamajiggy. They say measure twice, cut once. I probably measured 3 or 4 times. I'm really hoping that this fits. And I was getting a little bit nervous, feeling like it was a little bit off. And nope, I guess that's just what happens when you get a cut in the measurement just perfect. I was so excited that this fit. It was in doing this that I started to see how not level everything was, but I wasn't gonna let that stop me. I figured that would be an easy fix later. The most important thing is that this fit in there snugly. I did snag up my wall a little bit there. A bit of the screw was hanging out, but that's an easy cosmetic fix, not a big deal. Now we're gonna go for this bottom part of the desk. This is more dead space that can be utilized. And so here I used the 12-inch piece and a 6-inch piece, and I used some wood glue and glued it together. And this is going to give me the 18 inches in depth that I needed under the desk. And so here, again, not overthinking it, just simplifying it, keeping it simple, building a shelf. And it's going to be 2 shelves versus the 1 because there is more space there. And I've already drilled my 4 pocket holes in each shelf, and it's just ready to attach. This is always the moment of truth that kind of stresses you out because you've put it together, you've measured as many times as you can measure, and now it's, okay, did I measure right? So yeah, I hope this fits. I really just am scared, but I need it to. And oh my word, yeah, it's gonna slide right in like a glove. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Yes. Okay, we got that done. Now, when I was putting this in, again, you can see the little struggle is real there. There was stuff that was very uneven and level with this unit to begin with, but it worked. I got it in and I am happy. But I realized that I didn't put the bottom in. I wanted the bottom to look seamless. I didn't want the shelves on the ground. I wanted them elevated up, so I needed to add a trim to the bottom. I knew that I had some extra wood pieces on hand from a previous project, so I figured this piece here might work. It is a bit too tall, but I can fix that. I'm gonna use my table saw. I'm gonna shave off about a 1/2 inch off of the width of it so it will fit right under and just kind of look seamlessly finished, I guess, along the bottom edge there, along with the existing unit and cabinets. Now, I am certain there's probably a more efficient way to do this, but again, this is the Kelly way and I get it done. I'm just using hot glue to put this trim piece on. You can see the pocket holes here. I just love those things and they are so easy to do. None of the hardware shows, and we are going to have a perfectly seamless looking cabinet when I am done with this. So I'm gonna go ahead and just flip this over, slide it into place, and you're gonna see exactly what I'm talking about. Oh my word, look at that. Now the gaps are going to be filled in. We are not done with this. There is going to be some trim that I'm gonna add to this and some wood filler along the bottom of the tile and that trim piece because I need that to be filled in and seamless so water doesn't get under there. We are not even halfway done, but you know what? I'm seeing my vision come to life and that makes me happy. Now, again, there is probably a better, more efficient way to do this, but I'm doing it the way I know to get it done, which is easiest for me, which is gonna work, which I've seen success with in the past. So I'm just gonna go with it. I am using this pink spackling that turns white when it's dry to fill in the holes. Now, I didn't show here that I had put some trim on the face of this shelving unit. I add more because you will see in the back there that there is a gap. There is about a 1/2 inch gap because the width of the cabinet above is 13 inches because it is a custom made cabinet. And I didn't think that it was going to be that big of a gap. And I thought I'd be able just to kind of put either some caulking or some spackling in there. But once I got this shelving unit in, I saw that the gap was much bigger than I had anticipated. So I knew that I was going to need to make another trip to Lowe's. Let me tell you, this project took a total of 6 trips to Lowe's in a 2-day period this weekend. And so yeah, the people at Lowe's recognized me by the end of the weekend and they knew that I was doing a DIY. As I was walking in, they actually asked me one time what was I working on, and I showed them and they were super excited. And so every trip that I was making in after that, they were asking me for progress pictures. So before I was actually going into Lowe's, I was taking a progress picture because I knew they were gonna ask, and yep, they would ask and I'd show them and they were excited to see the outcome. But anyway, so yeah, after I started filling this in just to see if I was gonna need a bigger trim piece or if the spackling would work, it was working. And it was after this that I made my last trip to Lowe's for thicker trim pieces. I'm doing it to you. You're gonna have to stay tuned for part 2 because this video is already a bit on the longer side. It's at 16 minutes. And so, yeah, you'll wanna stay tuned for this Thursday. I promise you, I am going to bring you part 2 and you'll get to see the finished DIY. Maybe you've got one of these pesky desks in an odd area in your house that you don't utilize as a desk and you don't really know what to do with it. Well, maybe this will give you a bit of inspiration. It's simple, it's easy. Did it take a couple of days to do? It did, but it was well worth the work I put into it. You'll want to stay tuned for part 2 on Thursday to see how it all came together. Until next time, everybody, I hope you have a fantastic day. Stay happy, stay safe, stay healthy, but most of all, you know what I'm gonna say. Stay positive, please, because I'm sure trying. Bye for now, everybody.